now when she gave me a sneak preview of rehearsals.
Even though we're reframing the Michigan shot, which, are we going to reframe it now or should we do it later?
Katie Mitchell is one of theatre's most innovative directors, enthusiastically using film and multimedia in her stage productions.
Sound ready? Action.
I'm watching rehearsals for her new National Theatre production based on Dostoevsky's The Idiot. It's all filmed and projected live onto a screen above the stage. While actors appear silently on the screen, others provide voiceover and sound effects and even operate the cameras. As a film critic, I've always been very sceptical about artists from other media attempting to transpose film into their work. It's a very dangerous area, and put simply, the chances of getting it badly wrong are much greater than the possibilities of getting it right. But Mitchell claims this method of live filming is the only way to try and simplify the difficult sourced novel. Why choose The Idiot? Because, I mean, for example, my experience of it is I read it when I was, I think, at college, and I read it simply because Iggy Pop had named an album after it, and that was why. What drew you to it?
Like you, I read it when I was about 18, and there's still images from it which burned themselves onto my imagination when I was a kid. Actually, when I went back to read it recently, I thought, oh my God, some of it's quite uneven.
Yeah, and then some.
And he obviously wrote it at high speed, desperate for money because he was a manic gambler. But the moments when it works are so exquisite that you forgive it, all its flaws.
Okay.
So it's got some very unstable runways, but then there are some beautiful takeoffs.
Does it worry you at all that people who know the book will come to the play going, right, come on, give us The Idiot then?
Of course, the aficionados are terrifying because we all read a novel and we basically script and shoot a fantastic film of our own.
Yeah.
And any attempt to visualise it is going to be completely not what we imagined. So they are frightening.
Now, it's interesting, when you described that, you said, when we read the book, we shoot the film. Explain for me, in terms of, it's a theatre production, how you use the cinematic imagery with the theatre production.
We started using video like this when we did Virginia Woolf's The Waves, and we were trying to find a form, actually, which could communicate a novel which was entirely made up of internal monologues, which just thoughts inside people's heads. So we realised we couldn't do that as spoken word. We'd have to use some other tool. So we looked at video, close-ups, and then voiceovers. And from that, we evolved a way of shooting and combining that shooting with live performance. It would be almost impossible to adapt The Idiot on stage and capture huge swathes of the internal dynamics in someone's head like Mishkin, the protagonist. Absolutely impossible.
In moments of great joy, he always felt sad. He did not know why.
I think the thing that's most impressive in just the scene that I've seen being rehearsed is how beautifully choreographed the projected image is.
I quite like the ugliness of the chaos of the construction and the exquisiteness of the shot. Mm-hmm. And we aim to set the bar very, very high on the shots to make them be as lit, as beautiful as they possibly can be. And the problem is, or the beauty perhaps is, there will always be errors because it's entirely live. As soon as the audience cotton on to the fact that every element is live, you can see the audience suddenly go, because they go, this is not pre-recorded output, it's live, and there could be an error at any moment. And there's a great delight in participating in that, I think, as an audience member.
The film elements aren't add-ons here, but are integral to the performance, so I feel a whole lot more comfortable with them. But Mitchell's style hasn't always won her fans. Critics have accused her of an arrogant, auteurish approach. One theatregoer posted their programme of her production of Chekhov's The Seagull back to her with one word scrawled on it: rubbish. One of the criticisms of your work, for example, is, well, she'll take a text and then she'll throw it out the window and then she'll make her own version of it. And you have come in for a certain amount of flack, people saying, well, it's her vision.
Yes. In my head, I'm not looking at a play like The Seagull and sort of smashing it to smithereens in a careless fashion. Actually, I'm studying it really, really carefully. So for me, it's very delicate to make a very old play from a much earlier time live very clearly and brilliantly now.
Do you like to think of yourself as an auteur? Because, I mean, I would take that as a compliment.
I don't like so much to be called an auteur. It doesn't sit very comfortably on me. I'm just trying to do things as clearly as I possibly can. In a way, every director makes a huge range of interpretational decisions: the costuming, the casting, the translation of a text, the design of it, and it's just different degrees of intensity of interpretation. So I suppose in mine it's just a little extremely interpreted, but it's almost as if there's me extremely interpreting it and everyone else doing very discreet, beautiful, true to the text thing. But that's not the case. They're all interpreting it, but they're interpreting it in a different direction.
I'd like to reclaim that term as a term of praise, not a term of abuse at all. And I think when people call you an auteur, you should say, I am.
Okay.
And I'm very proud of it.
I'll try it out then.
Okay.
And if you'd like to see some trace of her, Katie Mitchell's adaptation of Dostoevsky